So a while back on this channel, I showcased this arcade refurbish rebuild project, of which I turned a non-working cabinet into a 2-player NFL Blitz themed arcade cabinet. I originally had a PC inside. I was emulating NFL Blitz and a bunch of other arcade games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Simpsons, and everything was great. However, I kind of stumbled into a situation, kind of one man's trash is another man's treasure, where somebody was getting rid of a non-working arcade NFL Blitz 99 PCB. It even came with a wiring harness, which is great because those things are hard to come by these days, but took it home, spent some time with the Arcade PCB, got it up and running. All I had to do is really kind of resolder a couple traces and replace one chip on the board that was fried. But other than that, everything is now hunky-dory. I've actually got it upgraded and I'm running NFL Blitz 2000 Gold Edition on there. That's one of the cool things about the original Arcade Seattle boards. You can originally run NFL Blitz 99, or NFL Blitz 2000 Gold Edition on any one of those boards just by swapping out the ROMs and of course the hard drive and or flash card kit. And that's one of the things I also did. The original NFL Blitz 99 arcade hard drive was actually working, which is great because, like I said, these things are old and ancient. However, I chose to swap it out with the much more reliable CF flash NFL Blitz 2000 Gold Edition. Boots right up really quickly and I don't have to worry about any kind of arcade hard drive failure. And at any given time I want to go back to NFL Blitz 99, I simply just swap out the ROMs, put the hard drive back in, and then I'm good to go and I can play either or game. Honestly, NFL Blitz 99 is the better game of all three of them if you ask me. It's got Barry Sanders in it, for crying out loud, so that's worth the price of admission alone. But NFL Blitz 2000 has much more refined gameplay and has a couple more animations that the other games did not. And one of the biggest hurdles in this project, no pun intended, was actually the wiring itself. Going from the original emulated computer setup that I had inside the machine back to the arcade to the original dedicated harness, well, that was a bit of a nightmare. Thankfully, I did get my hands on the original arcade manual. Has a wiring diagram inside, which helped out tremendously as far as piecing this back together. It's got a 4-player harness inside. Obviously, it's a 2-player setup for the cabinet, so I've essentially got 2 connections that I'm not really using, but everything's working. The 49-way joysticks that I had originally converted over to a USB signal for the emulation setup is now fully functional. Everything works as designed. Coin door, lights, everything works great. And I'm thankful it does, because by God, that was an absolute nightmare wiring that all up. So let me give you a tour of everything around back just for curiosity's sake, so you can see how this is wired up and how it's working. And here we have the Arcade PCB inside the cabinet. Like I said, it was labeled as not working. Didn't really have to spend a whole heck of a lot of time, honestly, getting it back up and running. Probably about 45 minutes work, and it was good to go. Changed out the CMOS battery because the old one was dead, so it wasn't saving any of my game settings or high scores or anything like that. One cool thing to note, I did get that original arcade harness, and you're looking at this cable and going, oh, shouldn't that be plugged into something? This is actually what plugs into the little expansion port on the little box that was configured to allow you to use your Nintendo 64 custom plays. You could save it on your card for your Nintendo 64, bring it to the arcade or the bar or whatever, plug it into the actual arcade, which had a little expansion slot connected to this, and you could run your custom plays on the arcade itself. So pretty cool little cross-promotional thing where you could play the game at home and then you could go play it in an arcade. So very cool. Very hard to find this specific harness this day and age. This is just a little bubble wrap where I've got protecting the original Blitz 99 boot ROMs and everything. Like I said, I do have the Blitz 2000 Gold upgrade or downgrade depending on your look and or affinity towards each game. Like I said, I got the CF expansion Blitz 2000 card instead of the Blitz 99 hard drive plugged in there. The wiring, like I said, is an absolute nightmare, but it is finally done. And here we have the little adapter video board that converts the video signal out of the Arcade PCB into a VGA signal. That way I can plug it into the back of the LCD monitor. I know some people think that's sacrilege, but honestly I don't care. That's just a personal preference. I had to go back to an arcade power supply. Obviously going from a PC setup doesn't really warrant an arcade power supply, but we got that plugged in. It's a rat's nest of wires and everything, but it powers the monitor, powers the light up marquee, which is still using the original LED light up strip that I had in the original computer emulation setup. Speakers are wired up. I said I just got to tidy up the wires and everything, but everything works. I mean, it's exactly how it should be, minus the LCD, of course, according to personal preferences. But, you know, we're back up in business.